Autosuggestion, a suggestion from yourself to yourself. It is the medium which influences our subconscious mind. What do you auto-suggest to yourself? You might not have heard that word, you might be very familiar with it, but autosuggestion is simply a suggestion from yourself to yourself, otherwise known as affirmations, mantras, thoughts that are repeated over and over. And thoughts that are repeated over and over, affirmations, mantras, autosuggestions, begin to take shape and mold in our subconscious mind, which literally dictates the vibration and frequency our body is in, which dictates the actions we take or that we don't take. I'm going to read this whole week, I've just decided, from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, from Chapter 4, Autosuggestion. If you haven't read this, I really encourage you to. My mentor, Bob Proctor, told me to read this for 90 days straight, no breaks. I had an accountability partner and we read it every single morning. Shout out to you, Jim. We did this for 90 days straight, including other chapters as well. But let's dive in. Chapter 4, Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. This is the third step toward riches in this Think and Grow Rich. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reaches one's mind through the five senses. Stated in another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of communication between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. Let's review very quickly the diagram of the mind. If you haven't seen it before, this is not how it really is. Pardon me. This is not how it really is, but this is the image we use to represent the mind, because no one's ever seen the mind. The mind is movement, the mind is energy. But this is the diagram we use to understand how the mind works. Okay, so there's two parts of our mind. We have the conscious thinking part, and we have the subconscious feeling or emotional part. And what Napoleon Hill just said was, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. It is the agency of, it's the communication between the two parts of the mind, where the conscious thought, the thinking part, the conscious, C stands for conscious, thinking part, where the conscious takes place, that serves the seat of action for the subconscious emotional mind. So whatever thoughts we think, it's the communication between the thoughts we think and then what we put into our subconscious or emotional feeling mind. So thoughts that we continually impress over and over and over and over with emotion, or emotionally involved, we feel a certain way towards the thought. It's under our skin. We're feeling it or not feeling it. Well, feeling it, that's what gets it into our subconscious feeling mind. Once it's dropped in here, this is the medium with which things get into our heart of hearts. And whatever is in our heart of hearts is what goes into our body. And what's in our body, we take action. And by our actions, we produce results, good or bad. So look at the results in your life. And it's a direct indication of how you've been feeling. How you've been feeling is a direct indication of what you'd been emotionally involved with in your subconscious mind. What you've been emotionally involved with in your subconscious mind is directly linked to how you're thinking in your conscious thinking mind. And then further than that, these five antennae represent our five physical senses. That's what he was saying. He says, autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli which reaches one's mind through the five senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. There's two parts of you. There are two parts of you. There is the physical body that we can see, the matter of us. And then there is the unseen, the energy of us. Spirit, soul, call it whatever you want. Science calls it energy, theology calls it spirit. There is a seen and an unseen part of us. The seen physical body has five physical senses. It's our apparatus, it's our hardware that we receive information to see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We have five physical senses on our body. All animals have them. But what makes us different than all animals? Than my cat, my dog, a pig, or a horse? What makes me different? It's my unseen, energetic, higher faculties of our mind. There are 6 of them. There's perception, the will, reason, imagination, intuition, and memory. We have all of these things. My dog does not have those things. The ability to reason and to think, to use imagination to create. Animals just have instinct, and it's perfect. What makes human beings different is the unseen stuff. And depending on how we use that unseen stuff, determines the quality of our life. You can tell when people have those unseen higher faculties of energy worked out and strengthened. And then you can see the people who just depend on their 5 physical animal senses. It's the determination between our level of conscious awareness, how we walk through this world. If we succeed or we don't, the results we get. How many times have you heard, wow, they're just an animal. They're very low level consciousness. They're doing things, they're acting like barbarians or whatever. It's because they're just focused on these 5 physical senses. Let's read a little bit more. So again, autosuggestion is the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. It's a suggestion from ourselves to ourselves. We take in information, that's how we get it. Remember, we're all animals and we do take from our 5 physical senses, but what do we do with it? Do we just take it for face value, or do we then run it through the filters of our mind? Are you filtering out? Are you guarding your heart of hearts, your true heart of hearts, which is in your subconscious mind? The ancient Egyptians and Greeks said this was the psyche, the seat of the soul. This is the ancient Greeks. Psychology meant the study of the soul or the spirit. Our heart of hearts. As a man thinketh in his heart, so will he be. Our heart is not our beating sac pumping our blood. Our true heart of hearts, our emotions and our feelings don't live here. They're unseen and they live in our mind. Okay. All right. So autosuggestion, a suggestion from yourself to yourself. Through the dominating thoughts, which one permits to remain in the conscious mind, whatever these thoughts be, negative or positive, it doesn't matter. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. So, through the dominating thoughts, which one permits, because at this point, when it comes into what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch from the outside world, into our conscious thinking mind, we can either accept it, boom, or reject it, bing, and kick it out. How many ridiculous things do you hear a day, or things you just don't agree with, or things, they might be true, but you don't want to emotionally involve yourself in it. You don't want to go there, so to speak. We do it all the time, but we need to be on watch and on guard truly and strengthen this muscle of choice, of reason, to what are we entertaining, the things that are coming in. That's why it's so important. What TV shows are you watching? What movies do you watch? What music do you listen to? What podcasts are you binge listening to? What conversations are you having? What is surrounding you that is going into this conscious thinking mind? Because whatever is repeated and repeated and repeated will fall in. Remember, thoughts are seeds. This is your subconscious garden. This is precious, precious soil. So whatever seeds get planted and nourished over and over and over and over and over, and we can be very unaware of these. They will take root and produce fruit, and those are the results of our life. So through the dominating thoughts, which we permit to remain, we entertain them and get emotionally involved with them. In the conscious mind, whether these thoughts be negative or positive is immaterial. The principle of autosuggestion voluntarily reaches the subconscious mind and influences it with these thoughts. No thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion, with the exception of thoughts picked up from the ether. So no thought, whether it be negative or positive, can enter the subconscious mind. So no thought, whether it be negative or positive, can get into our subconscious mind, which this is where we want it, because this is what will produce the results. So if you're not getting the results you want, it means you don't have it here. Whatever thoughts, or no thoughts, negative or positive, can enter into the subconscious mind without the aid principle of autosuggestion, repetition, suggestion from yourself to yourself, affirmations, mantras, listening to something over and over and over. Just the power of repetition gets it in here. Or picked up from the ether, from spirit, from a higher plane. It's a whole other topic. Stated differently, all sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses are stopped by the conscious thinking mind and may either pass on to the subconscious mind or rejected at will. That's what I just said. So it says, all sense impressions, what we see here, smell, taste, touch, all sense impressions which are perceived through the five senses may either be stopped here in the subconscious mind. It can be passed on to the subconscious mind. I hope I said that right. So from our five senses, it gets into our conscious thinking mind, and it can be stopped here in our conscious thinking mind, and be passed on to the subconscious mind, or be rejected at will. The conscious faculty serves, therefore, as an outer guard to the approach of the subconscious mind. So this is your net. Whatever you see, hear, smell, taste, touch, whatever's around you, this conscious thinking mind, that's why it's so important to think and be on your toes and be awake and really not just let any old thing go into your mind. Protect your mind. Guard your mind and heart diligently, vigilantly. So we can either accept or reject it when it's here. But once it goes here, it's like a goal. So think about, these are the balls, the soccer balls, and this is the goal. Once it's goal, it's in there. And it's going to score a point. We must guard our subconscious, our heart, with our conscious mind. So it says, the conscious faculty serves, therefore, as an outer guard. So it's a goalie. Our conscious mind is the goalie to guard our subconscious mind. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses. Although this is not meant to be construed as a statement that man always exercises this control. Let's really just soak that in. Nature has so built us, every human being, that we have absolute control over the material which reaches our subconscious mind, what we get emotionally involved in. We are in control of that. Through our five senses, whatever we're experiencing, whatever we are taking in with our five physical senses in this 3D world, the information, we have complete control whether or not we are going to get emotionally involved with it. Now, this is a wild concept because it's like, well, are you denying what's here? You're seeing it with your eyes, but you are not taking it as truth. It is just a report card. It is just fact and remnants of what has been. Everything that is created in this world was created first with a thought. It goes from invisible, unseen to seen. So any physical result that you see right now, it's like an aftershock of the earthquake that's been going on. And so if you continue to get emotionally involved with the aftershocks, the effects, you will continue to produce those. But you have to go to the cause, the unseen, to produce new results. So yeah, it's here, it's there. Take inventory. It is what it is. Look at it. Truth. I mean, look close up at it. Enter that cave. See the harsh truths of the results that are happening, if they're bad, if they're not to your liking. And then close out your five senses. Go inside and start suggesting what you want it to be. Not what is, what you want it to be. Any ding dong can see what is. But it takes a true person of strength, of controlling their mind to create something new. That's what this work is. So we've been so built that we have absolute control, just like in A Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. He realized there in those internment camps during the Holocaust that nobody could make him think anything he didn't want to think. They could do anything they wanted to him. Atrocious, say the most horrible things, but he had ultimate control. Okay? Think about Viktor Frankl. His physical five senses there in that internment camp during the Holocaust. What was he seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching? Atrocities, disgusting, horrific, nightmarish shit that no one would ever want to see. but he did not allow it to pass into his subconscious mind. He did not believe it to be true. That was an illusion. That was what these people, these evil darkness was creating, the results in this world. So he did not take the outside results as truth in his heart. He guarded his heart. And that's what got him through. That's what got him to be one of the greatest psychologists that has ever lived. That teaches us that we are in control of what we get emotionally involved with, and what we get emotionally involved with will create our life, because our actions are drawn from that and our results follow. Nature has so built man that he has absolute control over the material which reaches his subconscious mind through his five senses, although we don't do that. In the great majority of instances, we don't exercise our ability to choose or our ability to guard, which explains why so many people go through life in poverty, unhappiness, unhealthiness, unwealthiness, because we are not guarding our precious, precious goal, our net. I'll read a couple more sentences. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot, in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of a more desirable crop is not sown therein. As a man thinketh, James Allen, the book we just finished. My mind is a garden, my thoughts are seeds. I can grow flowers or I can grow weeds. Every thought is a seed. My subconscious mind is soil. Whatever seeds just continue to be pummeled in will fall and take root and create the fruitage of my life. And if they're weed seeds, if they're nasty things, I'm responsible for that. I'm not responsible for all the results in the world from everybody else, but I'm responsible for my experience of it. What am I creating? I cannot uncreate what is already created. I can't change the crap I've done, the mistakes I've made. Have you ever been in a situation where you're like, oh my God, just reverse back time. Please take it away. I promise I'll never do it again. Once the result has hit, there is nothing we can do. We can only just hold on for the ride, take the lessons we've learned, and create something new. If you're in a position right now where you're going through it, you've messed up, you keep making the same mistakes over and over, you're beating yourself up, just know that those results are just evidence of how you've been acting, feeling, thinking, being surrounded with. You can take control right now. Change, if you want to change your results, change the thinking. To change the thinking, change what you're surrounding yourself with. Change your environment. If you're just shriveling up and dying, that great quote of like, if a flower is just dying and not thriving, is it the flower's fault? No, it's the environment. So get your booty out into a better environment. Surround yourself with better people. And it could be scary because you might have to cut people off and be alone, and it's scary, but it's also scary to go through life and fail and have it be a big fat nightmare, because I've been there. Recall what has been said about the subconscious mind resembling a fertile garden spot in which weeds will grow in abundance if the seeds of more desirable crops are not sown therein. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or, by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into the rich garden of the mind. Dun, dun, dun. I'll end there. Basically, to recap, autosuggestion is a suggestion from yourself to yourself. What do you want to suggest to yourself? Make it be good. It might not be true at first, but if it's something you want to be true, this is how we start getting emotionally involved with it. Anything repeated, even if it's a lie, repeated over and over and over, begins to take root and take shape in your world. This is how our brain works. That's the great secret. It doesn't matter. We become what we think about most of the time. We become what we think about most of the time. What are you thinking about most of the time? Who are you? What have you become? That is a direct reflection of what you've been thinking about most of the time. If it's trashy and nasty and you're pissed, it's good. You can change it. That's what we're learning here. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or if we neglect to put in positive things. That's why it's so important that we pump ourselves full, and it can be silly at first if you're not used to it. Read books, listen to subliminal messages before you go to bed, affirmations, mirror work, reading in your eyeballs every day. Stand in the mirror and look at yourself in the mirror. What's one of my affirmations? Ooh, there was a really good one last night. I recorded it for sure. It was like, I have a steady, lavish income that is earned by helping people, something. But anyways, it's a really great affirmation. I am a clear, open channel and pristine vessel for God's will. I will stand in the mirror and I will look in my eyeballs. I will look in one eyeball and then I will look in another. This is mirror work. So stand in front of the mirror, get an affirmation that you really love. I have plenty. If you need help, let me know. I'll help you out. I am a clear, open channel and pristine vessel for God's will. Then I'll look in my other eye. I am a clear, open channel and pristine vessel for God's will. Everything always works out for me in the most miraculous ways. God goes before me, making my way sure. Money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I mean, it's endless. It's just positive seeds that I'm auto-suggesting from myself to myself over and over and over. And they will take root and they will get in my body and I will take action and I will get those results. Autosuggestion is the agency of control through which an individual may voluntarily feed his subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature. Or if we don't do that, which a lot of us don't, I sure didn't for years, over 30 years. We just permit the thoughts of whatever's free in life to float right into the rich garden of our mind. If you are not, listen, Lindas, if you are not consciously auto-suggesting from yourself to yourself positive things of a positive nature, of things that you want to see in your life, if you are not consciously choosing thoughts to repeat over and over and over, you are by default living by default and just allowing whatever your physical five senses and the things around you to fall right in. We highly underestimate the power of our subconscious mind, of how our mind works in general. We think that we're not susceptible, that we are not prone, or we're not gullible, or we're strong. I can sit around and hear things, and my friends gossip, but I don't. My friends are negative, my family's negative, but you know what? I'm the positive one. Mark my words, if you continue to put yourself in environments with negativity, it will seep in. You're not that strong. I'm not that strong. We are not that strong yet. But if we have not diligently worked to exercise the mind of guarding our subconscious mind through the exercising the muscles of our conscious mind, we're fooling ourselves if we think that we can just keep doing things the way we've always been doing it because we will continue to get results. We think we're special. We think we're special. We think we are going to do it. We are the exception to the rule. Everybody else, I feel that I was meant for something special. I know it. Yes, you were, but we all feel that. But what are you doing differently? When you hear these stories of people who have made it, I love me some rock, $7 in his pocket, blah, blah, blah. It is not cute. The road from where we're at, not even mediocre or base, it's like mid-level, like we're doing okay, to really rocketing up, quantum leaping, that divide from where we're at to where we want to truly be, if we're honest with ourselves, it is uncomfortable, it is work, and if anybody wants to tell you different, they don't have those results. Anybody that you talk to that is really, really winning and has success has been through this alchemizing, burning off of the old self process, and it is not cute. It is painful, but it is worth it. So that's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm doing. Dying daily to my old self, studying daily, falling in love with it. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll continue with autosuggestion tomorrow. Have a great day.